So, have you ever struggled when it comes to being satisfied or content with where you are in your life? Well, that's exactly what we're going to look at today. Ingredients when it comes to how to be content in a way that will truly significantly increase your quality of life. So, what we're first going to look at is the aspect of focusing more on internal rather than external, which is the exact opposite of what society and our culture kind of shoves down our throat, where our definition of happiness, success, comes in the package of things outside of us. And that's where so many of us get kind of confused when it comes to contentment, being good with where we're at. So the first question to ask yourself, is your contentment circumstantial? If so, it's depending on, how much you're bringing in with your paycheck, how a relationship's going. If it's circumstantial, the truth is you'll never fully be content. That's big stuff, because what we're doing, we're relying on outside factors. If we're always focusing on, I'll say, what's next, what we need to get rid of, the people in our lives, we become overwhelmingly distracted. And this is where this focus becomes on the external factors of our life that set us up for this inability to be content. We become distracted and thrown all over the place with all different types of things. And so what it is, it's the ability and kind of clinging to this concept of striving for internal contentment, being satisfied with where we are. And that's a big challenge. So what it has to be is truly every single day, taking time to take care of yourself on an internal sense. I'm going to break down what that means for me. I start my day in prayer. For you, that might be yoga, that could be deep breathing. You could say, I don't have time to do that, to start my day like that. I'm in the car at 5 o'clock in the morning, then in the car, not telling you to close your eyes, but deep breathing, put those distractions to the side. And it's whether it's morning, whether it's night, during the day, being calm. Learning how to clear our mind. That in itself is huge. And so many of us can really struggle when it comes to having the ability to pause and allowing ourselves to ask ourselves, like, what do I really want? Am I really happy? And it's pursuing that. It's pursuing that with intention, because contentment is something that so many people really struggle and are like grasping at, but do not have. What I believe can also kind of go hand in hand with this, gratitude. Gratitude is a massive component when it comes to not just our character, but internally being able to get to that point when it comes to being satisfied, content with where we're at. Gratitude. What are you grateful for? These ingredients are part of the internal, and gratitude cannot be kind of put to the wayside. I'm grateful. Of course I'm grateful. Well, what the heck does that mean? Being able to verbalize, being able to write it down, reminding ourselves so we're not getting lost and overwhelmed, and it becomes where we're at circumstantial contentment. And that's everything's thrown out the window. Okay, life can suck sometimes, but what in your week, your day, your month, your year, what are you grateful for? Give me 10 things right now. What are you grateful for? Contentment is not circumstantial, and it's a part of our life. It is a beautiful, amazing, awesome thing. But it rolls us into what I'm going to say, going from the aspect of internal, not external. What absolutely kind of piggybacks on this is the aspect of less is more. It really is. It's very easy to kind of like be cluttered in life, not with just our thoughts and relationships, but with the things in our life. If you were to walk through your home right now, is there lots of clutter? And there's nothing wrong with owning possessions. I'm going to put that out there. Having a nice car that works super well, owning a home, having things. But there's that kind of balance point where less is more. What really is pushing you? Like, is it, I want to have that, that nicer car, or I want this, and it's being able to deviate between need and want. And one of the things that I've kind of found beneficial over the years is kind of going through closets, cupboards, once, twice, 3 times a year. Like, have I used this? And taking a step back and thinking, could this be beneficial to somebody else? And that's awesome. If that's the case, if you're not using it, donate it. Boom. Awesome. And so the cycle of goodness, and then it's that internal part of us that's saying, wow, it's pretty cool to give back. Wow, I'm grateful I have this and can give this to something else. So it's kind of like all intertwined. So we look at how when we purge some of the things that are serving no purpose, bloop, that brings us really to our next purpose. Giving back. And on top of that, the ability to volunteer, whether it's at, your local soup kitchen. What is it that you're passionate for? The needs that are within your community, and how can you rise to the occasion? When we have that ability to lock on to the aspect of giving back, it's awesome, because it lines up with that aspect of less is more, and the internal taking precedence over the external. And then that brings us to the aspect of comparison, which is really something that can be this tangled web that's hard to avoid sometimes. It's connecting this aspect of comparison with gratitude, where it's looking at what are you thankful for? And with that, it's focusing on the aspect of you and your needs when it comes to the pillars of wellness, and focusing on your mind, body, health instead of somebody else's. And when we kind of get exactly what this is, distracted by comparison, it absolutely chips away at the ability for us to be satisfied with where we're at, with who we are, and the aspect of contentment. And what can really help with this process, if you have what I call a wingman, a friend that can really hold you accountable. How are you doing with that? All these different pillars we're talking about can be a really hard pursuit. Totally possible, totally feasible. But when we have somebody else that's kind of, whether on this journey with us or checking in to see how we're doing, man, it makes that pursuit a lot smoother, because it allows us to focus on ourselves and not comparing ourselves to other people. This pursuit is lifelong. Being comfortable, content with where we are in life is really self-maintenance. It's ongoing. And that's the exciting thing about life, that we're this work of art, we're this journey. Where are we going? Let's keep working on ourselves to be feeling trapped in this, man, this sucks mentality. If that's in your vocab for a big old chunk of your day, it's time to reevaluate things. So it requires certain ingredients. And some of those include focusing on our internal needs versus our external needs. So this is where it's kind of pursuing that thing I talked about before with minimalistic life, right? Time, people, or responsibilities, and connecting them with our ability to go beyond ourselves with giving back, connecting with that aspect of finding joy and beauty in our perfections and our imperfections. So this really goes hand in hand when it comes on this pursuit of working on ourselves. And if you're on that journey, I'm excited for you. And I'd love for you to check out prioritizing your mental health, because that's part of it. Check it out. And if you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe.